All right, welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight. I'm here with Stacey Lockhart, and she is the current CEO of HOPELINK of Southern Nevada. Stacey, thank you for your time and being on the Business Spotlight. You know, Business Spotlight is great for many reasons. You know, number one, it helps you, Stacey, be introduced to other people in, my network and also our community. And then the second thing is it helps share with the clients that I'm working with on a coaching basis, share what I do with the other members of the community. So the Business Spotlight is also going out to my database and ActionCOACH's database, which is, a lot of viewers across the globe. So hopefully this is very impactful, insightful, and I'm really excited to learn about you, Stacey, and, what you're doing in our community here in Las Vegas. So without further ado, Stacey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with the nonprofit that you serve?
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for the invitation to be here today. I love sharing what HOPELINK does with the community and broader audience. I could talk about it all day. So to start, I have been working in nonprofit for, I think, going on 37 years. I have a degree in journalism, never worked a day in the field. I got connected with a nonprofit right after college and started doing actually fundraising and community engagement. And all of a sudden I realized, I went, oh my gosh, I found something that I really like and I'm actually good at it. So I've oftentimes said, what would I do if I could do something else? And I can never come up with anything better. I absolutely love working in the nonprofit sector and really attracting people and resources to organizations so those organizations can turn around and serve the community and the needs of the people who live there. I've been in Las Vegas, Henderson area for almost 6 years now. Moved here from Washington State when I decided I was tired of shoveling driveways and worried about slipping on ice in the winter. And joined HOPELINK 3 years ago. When I first moved to Las Vegas, I actually took over the largest women and children's shelter in the state. And wow. And got it financially stable, did $2.5 million in renovations to it. Thanks to relationships I built with local casinos and other businesses here in town. I then moved on to, as I said, HOPELINK. I've been here a little over 3 years. And our mission, it's really simple. It's 3 bullet points. It's number 1, to prevent homelessness. And I say that is doing what we can do to keep people in their homes when some sort of a financial crisis hits, so they don't end up on the street or in a shelter. For about $2,000, I can prevent a family from becoming homeless. If that family were to become homeless, it'll cost our community over $100,000 to get them back out of homelessness, into housing, and back on their feet again. So it's really very economical. It makes good business sense for the community, for HOPELINK to be here doing this. We also, our number 2 is preserving families, doing what we can to keep families together when crisis hits. If I, for instance, run into someone, we have a lot of families and people, living in their cars now. If there's a family or even a single parent and they say, I asked them, I said, are you somewhere safe right now? Where are you staying? They said, well, we're staying in my car. If Child Protective Services gets wind that they are living in the car, there's children there, they will, remove those children. And now that parent has an additional, hardship. They need to do everything they can to get to a position where they can get the children back. So getting that family out of that car and into an emergency shelter situation, we'll put them in a hotel and start to work with them to work back towards permanent housing, financial stability, employment, whatever that looks like, but keeping that family together so there is an additional hardship on the parents or the children.
Yeah.
And thirdly, really, you know what, providing hope, because when a household experiences a hardship, whether it's caused by fault of their own or not, I say all the time, every day things happen to people that's no fault of their own. Whether they're driving down the highway doing everything right and somebody else causes an accident that now has them laid up, they can't go to work, they can't earn, you know, things just happen. And it's hard sometimes when people they feel they're so far down and they're really struggling and they just don't know how to crawl out of that. HopeLink, many times when we get connected with somebody, just initially listening to them and what's going on, and then being able to talk to them about how we can assist, gives people the hope that things can actually get better and they can actually, you know, everything can turn around. An example for you, one of our clients, Adriana, a year and a half ago, she was homeless on the street. She'd been living in Reno and working in Reno. They raised her rent. She couldn't afford the rent on what she was bringing home. So she thought she'd, you know, come to Vegas, where she was originally from. She got here and wasn't having any luck finding work. We were still impacted by COVID, of course,
Oh yeah.
and found herself and her dog on the street. Our board chair actually met her because he lived down by that neighborhood and would see her, and they began to talk and visit. We were able to help her get into emergency shelter. We put her in a hotel, and that roof over her head and that safe place to be was the only thing she needed. She's the most motivated woman I've ever met in my life. Fast forward a year and a half later, she has a great job as a chauffeur. She is financially stable. She has money in the bank. She bought a car, and she told me on Friday night that she just got approved up to $400,000 for a home loan.
Wow.
And so that is where HopeLink comes in. You know, we give that hand up. You know, we always say we're not a handout, we're a hand up. But giving that bit of
Yes.
support, just what she needed to be able to grab on and turn everything around. She's just one of our amazing success stories. Our clients put skin in the game. We don't do it for them. We will be there with them to walk the journey, to give them support, encouragement, assistance, however we can. But it's really, you know, it's up to them to grab onto what it is we're offering and run with it.
Yes. No, I agree. I agree 100%. And that's really impactful for what you guys are doing here in Southern Nevada. You know, giving people a place to keep their family together, giving them a place, you know, to lay their heads and keeping them in that house. You know, that I didn't know that statistic that it costs the state $100,000 versus $2,000 to keep them where they're currently at. That's massive for the economy.
It is. And, you know, the need just continues to grow. Every day we're getting calls from seniors. You know, they're on
Mhm.
fixed incomes. Maybe they've lived in the same place forever, but now their rent's gone up $400 or $500. You know what? They don't have that in their budget. And I keep saying nobody's grandma should be on a street or in a shelter. So
Right.
what can we do to subsidize their rent for a while, to give them breathing room so we can work with them to come up with a plan? Obviously, they're not going to be able to stay where they're at long term because their
Mhm.
income's not going to go up that much. But it allows them that opportunity to explore. You know, are there other places? Are there, you know, house sharing opportunities? Do they have family they could live with? You know, what does that look like? Because, you know, all of a sudden, you know, if you think you're going to be evicted, or that moment of crisis where all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And
Right.
you can't think of a plan. All you can think of is, I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to get evicted. I can't afford this. So, so that's just, one part. We do rent and mortgage assistance. We do utility assistance. We have subsidized housing programs that, people who, are experiencing homelessness, we can get them back into housing. We have a career link program we started almost 2 years ago that I raised private funds to start because I wanted our clients to have success. And
Mhm.
success of our clients means they can pay their rent, they can pay all of their own bills, they can be financially stable, self-sufficient. And I said, how do we, increase that? Well, they need employment. You've got to have income in order to pay your bills. So
Right.
instead of just referring them to the local unemployment office or this or that, we now have employment services in-house. So we have a case
Wow.
manager who can work with our clients and do job readiness, skill, assessments, help build resumes. We have over 40 employment partners now that are great companies that care about their employees, that pay livable wages. And it's been just, absolutely amazing. Everything ties to something else. And if we're only
Hmm.
providing part of something, then we're only being part of a solution. So
Yes.
as the need in the community continues to grow, HOPELINK continues to grow as well. 3 years ago, I guess I should say 3 years ago when I came on board, we had 14 employees and our annual budget was $1.2 million. Right now, we have 48 employees, I think, and our annual budget this year is 13 million.
Ooh, big
We used
growth.
to have one office location. Now we have two office locations, one in Henderson and one in downtown Las Vegas, where our housing programs, career programs, where those programs that need to be closer to the majority of people we serve can be accessible. So it's just, it's been a wild 3 years. Proud to say we never closed our doors even one day during COVID. We all said if we're not here to help, then where are people going to turn? So
Yeah.
we just keep doing what we do and proud to be here.
Yeah, that's like I said, you guys are doing great things in the community, and I commend you guys for that because somebody had to step up, somebody had to do it. And in 3 years' time, you guys have massive growth. You grew the nonprofit. You guys have a higher budget to help more families. So that's truly amazing. It's a lot of what we teach and coach our clients, right, as business owners, to be able to have quality employees and teach them, the thing we get out, that we hear a lot in the marketplace is I can't find good people, but there are good people out there looking for work. Obviously you guys figured it out and you have people that are hungry, want to, they just need that chance. And that's what we coach our business owners, right? In teaching them how they can utilize and leverage their relationships, their network, and find good people, find good candidates, to keep our economy going, even during the tough time that we're having right now with, inflation going up and we're just getting out of COVID, right? We're at the tail end of it. So question I have for you, Stacey, is what's been the biggest learning curve since you took over for the Southern Nevada, the Hope Link of Southern Nevada?
I would have to say managing our growth in
Mm,
a thoughtful way because a business can grow overnight. I mean, depending on what it is, all of a sudden you're exploding and people are finding out about you. So making sure that we stay in our lane, I guess you could
mhm.
say, we do housing, and homelessness prevention. Um, we don't do a lot, we don't do mental health, we don't do drug addiction, we are not housing developers. And we talked about that. The need for more affordable housing. Did we want to start acquiring property and building housing? And we said, you know what? No, that is not what we do. What we want to
Right.
do is partner with developers who are building affordable housing. So there's more housing available for our clients that we serve to have access to. So I'd say, part of that, it's scaling. Also recognizing what do we have the bandwidth to take on and to do it well. We have a motto that, do good work. If we do good work in the community consistently, opportunities will come to us so we can help more people. And I think that is what does attract more opportunities to us and resources to us, and allows us, to expand. We're to the point that based on what we do, I'm not looking, there's a lot of grant opportunities out there, funding opportunities for things, but, we're to the point that we all agree, if there's financial resources available to help us do more of what we already do, then that's great. If it's money to start something new, we're really at our bandwidth. We're not starting anything new without knowing that it could be sustainable.
Right.
And in nonprofit, we sort of call it mission creep. You'll see them doing everything under the sky, and we said, nope. You know what? We do homelessness prevention. We do housing, and then we collaborate with other nonprofits in the community to connect our clients to the other resources that they need. We don't have to do it all. So I'd say for any business owner out there, no matter what kind of business it is, really decide what that one thing is that you want to offer, and then figure out how you can be the best at that, how you can be the market leader in that one thing. And once you get that under your belt and it's successful, then maybe look, how, not maybe adding a bunch of new things, but how can you enhance that one thing you're doing? You can do little things that help you continue to grow, but still tie back in to that main, your main objective, your main product, whatever service, whatever that might be. Strategic planning. I went through a session with my board during COVID, and we had 2 days of deep discussions, where we've been, who we are, what we want the future to look like. And like I said, we talked about some of the things that we could do, and then why maybe we do it or why not do it, and really help us stay, on point, and using that sort of as our guiding document and principles to always make sure that are we where we're supposed to be, or are you driving down the right lane, or are you crossing the lines? Pull us back into the middle of the road where we want to be.
And right there in what you just said, I couldn't have said it better myself. And it's like a breath of fresh air to hear. If you have a mission, you have a vision, you have a clear path to where you want to go. That's one of the things we found in coaching our clients is they think of the spider web effect and they want to capture as much as possible. But then we bring them back to the way the spider is, right? Grow one leg at a time and start to expand once you master or once you get really good at that. And then you can collaborate or bring in other subject matter experts, finding that key person that can take the next leap forward. So really, really, really good information. I think people will find this conversation extremely valuable because for you guys being a nonprofit, and someone who is for profit, right? Most business owners, we can still make an impact with what we do, how we hire, the culture that we have. And I think that's what is attractive where you want to work. How is your culture, right? I think what you guys are doing is amazing. I appreciate your time today. Stacey, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, they wanted to help out, they wanted to collaborate, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
My email, best way, it's Stacey, Stacey, at link, the number 2, link linktohope.org. I lost my train of thought. So Stacey, S-T-A-C-Y, at linktohope.org. You can also reach me. Our main office number is 702-566-0576. My personal extension is 315. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. I've also got my own profile on LinkedIn, but HOPELINK of Southern Nevada. Our website, just Google us. We are out there, and there's multiple ways to reach out and get in contact. But if you reach out and start with me, then I can loop in anybody else, because I'm not always the person in the end you really want.
Yes.
You know, you want my housing director, my employment person, or somebody else, but I can help make those connections based on, you know, what somebody's interest is in getting involved with us. And I'm always
Yes.
open to cash. Somebody out there has a bunch of cash they want to give away. You know, if they're looking for a nonprofit to really get involved in and have, you know, a big impact on the community, I am always looking for, you know, additional financial resources and great people to get involved with us so we can have that greater impact.
Yes. Well, thank you again, Stacey, for your time. And I hope you guys got some really good nuggets out of here, because this conversation was so impactful. I know I have a lot of takeaways, and I've got a lot of questions, and I can't wait to collaborate with you in the future. So thank you again, Stacey, for your time, and I hope everybody enjoyed.